Okay, time to do some combine work. It's actually kind of chilly outside right now. Today's only supposed to be to 76, so compared to the mid 90s we've been having for the last week, today's gonna be nice. I got 10 bearings I gotta get changed. I gotta get all 4 Walker bearings, Walker crank bearings, the cylinder bearings, the beater shaft bearings, and then right there in the brake housing where the shaft sticks through, there's a carrier bearing. I need to replace those. However, when I priced them out from Agco, they were like 150 bucks or something stupid a piece. So I'm hoping I can source them locally here cheaper. We got a bearing supply, or a bearing warehouse just right down here in South Bend. I'm hoping that if I can get them off, or get one of them covers off and get a good number off the bearing, that they can cross it and not have to pay 150 bucks a bearing. So, but according to the measurements that they give on Agco Parts books, they give you the ID and the OD, but unfortunately you just still need the width to be able to figure a bearing out, so I can't just give them the bearing dimensions. Of all stupid things, it's a metric bearing. Everything else on it's inch. I don't know why the hell they decided to make those two metric, but anyhow, because this one over here, and it's probably too dark to see it, the outer seal has actually come off of the bearing and is out walking around on the shaft. And if I remember right, I looked in there with a flashlight and there's no cage left. The balls are just floating around inside the bearing race. So I think it'll be too much longer and that thing's gonna grenade. So I need to get those replaced, because I can't imagine what kind of damage that would do. So anyway, get her down to the garage, and first things first, probably try to take that right hand brake cover off, because this could be the easiest, and see if I can get a bearing number and make some phone calls, eh? It's already got the stub axle out, because you gotta, obviously that goes here, and that's got to come out before this cover can come off. That's the only axle, or that's the one axle I haven't had out of this thing yet, so it wanted to fight a little bit. WD-40 solved that problem. And I've never had one of these brake covers off, so I don't exactly know what we're going to get into here. Oh. Huh. I'll be dang. That was not what I was expecting to happen. I need that cute little brake actuator. Huh. Well, that's easier than I thought. But still need to get the bearing out to the point where I can see what the heck's going on. Alright, well, obviously I got it back together for the time being, because without that there, this thing's kind of a boat anchor. So good news is I got bearings coming. They should be here Wednesday, hopefully. Bad news is I had to pay the money from Agco. They're only $127, not $150, but they're still salty for that bearing. And the problem is, that's the number on the bearing. It's a Z993LL08B. The actual bearing dimensions, which I think are weird because everything on this machine is standard, except so far that we found these two bearings are metric. 62 millimeter OD, 40 millimeter ID, 15 millimeters wide. That part number, which is right off the bearing, is a 40 millimeter ID, 15 millimeter wide, 68 millimeter OD, which is what the 08 and the part number stand for. Oliver had that bearing custom made, or cockshut, or however you want to look at it, since it's technically a cockshut combine. So it no longer crosses to a standard off-the-shelf bearing. The closest our bearing supplier could get to was a 40 by 62 by 13, and since that bearing is trapped in that, there's a counter bore with a snap ring groove, and it's trapped in that counter bore. Don't really want to go any narrower, and don't really want to go to a smaller bearing to begin with, because you could have technically made a spacer to take up that 2 millimeters of slack and put it all back together, but you don't really want to go down a bearing size. So long story short, had to bite the bullet and buy them from Agco, but at least they're available still, so they'll be here. But anyway, now that that little project's over, on to the actual bearings that I have on hand. Alright, so 10 bearings to change. We're going to start with the easiest one first. I'm going to have to turn this thing over so I can get a better whack at that. This is the old drive pulley for the spreader that's not there anymore. Okay, that's better. That's not a roll pin, that's a spline pin. I'm gonna need a bigger punch. Yeah, this fucker's gonna fight me, I know it. Well, I thought we were starting with the easy one. Alright, after like 45 minutes of dicking around, kind of got that pin out. That was a chore. So hopefully the pulley comes off. Okay, that doesn't even need to go back on. Now for that bearing. Come on, let go. Seriously, let go. This is stupid. Okay. Now it's a matter of figuring out which way they drove that lock collar, which, judging by the pin mark, looks like they drove it this way, so hopefully that way. Alright, all I had to do was bust that collar loose. I did it with an air hammer. That's one tool that we got that air hammers are them tools that unless you use them all the time, you always got them laying in the drawer, but you always forget you got them, and then when you do have to use them, and it's like, oh hey, I could use this in a lot of places, but I always forget we got it. Oh, that's nice. Well, it didn't break the housing, but I chipped it. Oh, the 525 went so easy, and that's an older combine. Teeter. Teeter, come here. We got so much shit going on around here today, it ain't funny. Yeah. Gotcha, bitch. Alright, so I got the shaft all cleaned up where the bearing will slide all the way on without pounding on it. I got the new insert put inside the pillow block. Yeah, damn it. And I'm glad I saved the collar, because at first I thought I was going to cut it off. But I'm glad I took the air hammer to it because I forgot. For some reason, the new bearings do not come with a lock collar. Who the hell sells a bearing assembly like that? Apparently AGCO, but I need to save the collars for the new bearings, so you got that going for you too. Okay. And I forgot I was going to grab new bolts. Well, so far I'm at about 2 hours to change one bearing, and I got 7 more to do. Three more like this, and the 4 big ones for the beater and the cylinder. Put that wire clamp on there, but it goes on the other bolt, so we're good. Actually, they made it where you kind of fight to get tools on these bolts. Okay, there's that. And I put a new set screw in the lock collar. That ought to do her. On the upside, now I know what to do if they fight me. Just beat on them with an air hammer. Now I couldn't do that on the 525 because there's a damn washer welded on the walker shaft on the inside of the sheet metal to keep shit from getting to the back side of the bearing. Well, they didn't do that on this, so I could get to the back side of the bearing, so that was helpful. But anyway, one down, a few more to go. I hope they're all not this hard. We're making some progress. I got that one done, and I got this one apart to this point, but the back of the grain pan is like right back in here, and I can get in there and there's enough room to get on it with an air hammer, but laying in there on my side, I'm too wide and there's not enough height to be able to get both of my arms in there to be able to control the air hammer. And I've tried doing it one-handed and the thing bounces around too much to get an accurate hit. So I can't get that one to move. I would basically have to gut the combine. I'd have to drop the grain pan and pull the sieves out to be able to get in there, to be able to get both my hands on it, to be able to control the air hammer to drive that thing off. So I'm just going to go in there with a torch and slit it top and bottom and knock it off and be done with it. But the torch was out of oxygen and Dad had to run to the welding supply place anyhow to get yeah, he had to exchange a tank, so he took that, and we should be back in business here in a half hour or so. And then I started disassembling this side, and this is where we're at, that damn flange. This is the walker drive pulley. That's the flange it bolts to, and it does not want to move. I've moved it about 1/8 of an inch in 20 minutes. And I'm scared to pull on it any harder because I don't want to bust that flange, so I'm just kind of letting it sit there and think about what it's done, and I got to let it cool down so I can start heating it again. I thought about quenching it, but I don't want to crack that cast, so I'm going to play it safe and just let it sit there for a minute. So anyway, I'm kind of stuck until Dad gets back because I don't want to really tear into anything else because I gotta have everything cleaned up, put away, because about 4 o'clock I gotta take off, and I gotta go get some parts for the 8700. So I was hoping to at least get, so far I started, by the time I got done jerking around with that and got those bearings ordered, it was about 10 o'clock. And now it is about, now it's 2:30, so I'm at 4.5 hours on this, and I've only technically changed 2 bearings. So hopefully this is not an indicator of how tough those bastards are going to be, because those are bigger bearings. The 525, it's a 4-year older machine, and that thing came apart other than when we had to take other than pulling all the hubs and crap off of the beater shaft. All the ones on the 525 didn't hardly put up a fight. This one, everything I touch is putting up a fight. I don't know why it's got to be like that. I'm just trying to make her better. Okay. See if I can set the combine on fire, huh? I hate torching on combines. There's just nothing fun about it. I'm gonna rotate it so I can get that outer race off first, so that it's out of the way and I don't gotta deal with it. I think that'll do it. Wait, did that thing just... Huh. Well, I know I rotated it more than that. Did it just spin the race? I can't believe it would. By this time, it's got to be locked up. Really? You're just, really? Well, can I just get lucky and break it? It'd be really neat if I could. Doesn't look like it's gonna let me though. Tools scattered all over this damn thing. All? There we go. There we go. Now, hopefully, if I get lucky, maybe I can just get that top split and drive a chisel or something in there to wedge it open and then get it off. If I'm not lucky, then I gotta cut it top and bottom. Where did I put my striker? Worst part about that bearing is there's so much shit in the way. Shit in the way that you do not want to catch on fire. And the one thing I'm going to do before I park this tonight is I'm going to get a garden hose out and I'm going to soak the inside of this son of a bitch. That way if there's any hot spots, we get them out before it becomes a problem. That might have done it. It's loose. Now I just got to get behind it. Yeah, come on, you bitch. I really do not want to torch anymore because I noticed I had that bearing block in there, had some of the oil sizzling in it. It wasn't on fire, but oh, I need a different crowbar. There we got her. Like I say, doing that just scares the shit out of me because, especially on the inside, you can't tell what's getting hot and what's not. Sweet, I can get that one done and then we can focus on that other side. This is just, I got spoiled on the 525 because that all came apart really damn easy, all things considered. This one's just being difficult. Okay, so switching strategies here. First things first, I'm going to take the induction heater. It's cooled back down, so I'm going to put a little bit of heat back into it. And I got tension on it, and I'm going to smack on the end of it with an air hammer instead of a regular hammer. See if we can make her move. I just can't believe it's that stuck. It's not like, well, I shouldn't say that. Rust is the most powerful force on earth known to man. If they could make a rust grade Loctite, which would be tighter than the green Loctite, they would have something because it would never come apart. You could put shit together without nuts and bolts. It would just be there. Okay, got a little bit of heat in there. I lost a nut off of my puller. But it did move. I was hammering on this puller with the impact, but I really don't want to break this hub. Oh, it moved quite a bit actually. I really don't want to break this hub because, you know, I kind of need it. At least with a ratchet, I can feel what's going on. Got a little more out of it. This is going to be a slow process. But you get the idea. Well, we had success. It was coming about a 1/16 at a time until I got it about an 1/8 inch past the roll pin hole, and after that I was confident enough that it was loose enough that I put the impact back on it and drug it right off. I was not expecting that in any way, shape, or form. But now I just got to get that bearing off of there, which I'm probably going to torch it off like I did the other side, and we'll be good to go. And we're all back together. Kinda. I didn't tighten this belt up yet because it's got to come back off to get all this bull crap off to get to that bearing back there. But other than that, everything's good to go. I ended up getting that hub. I got everything off, and then I just torched that. I got in there and I tried hammering it out with an air hammer, and it wouldn't move, so I just torched it out and got over with it. And then when I put this back together, I put the pulley back on the side of the hub that it belongs on. I have no clue why they had it on the back side, because the back side doesn't even have a pilot for it. They just literally were relying on the bolts. The face on this side of that hub was machined, and it's got a pilot on it for that pulley to go on. So I don't know, it's back the way it belongs now. I guess if it starts rolling the belt off, we'll pull it apart and flip it back around the way it was, but I don't see why it would be an issue. So anyhow, that's that, and I guess tomorrow we will tackle, well, tomorrow I got to get stuff ready for the parade, and if I get done in time, I'll start tackling more bearings. Otherwise, we'll probably do it Monday. So, 'cause obviously Sunday we got the parade, so that's going to take a big chunk of the day. But anyway, 4 out of 8, well, 4 out of 10 when I get them other two, but those will be easy. Those won't even be a fight, so anyhow, I guess I gotta get stuff put away and get on down the road. So I told that guy I'd be there between 5 and 5:30, so should have left a half hour ago when I was trying to get that bearing done. So anyway, I guess that does this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.